Hello everyone and welcome to Networktalk. This is Sundar. Today we are going to take CCNA 200-301 networking fundamental. The topic is switches. Today agenda is basic details of the switch basic components and switch types, switch basic configuration and lab practical. What is switch? I hope all are know the switch details. So let me explain the switch. A network switch is a physical device that operates at the data link layer of Open System Interconnection (OSI) model. Layer 2. OSI is the heart of network communications. In a later sessions, we will cover full details about OSI layer. Okay. Now you can know that this switch works OSI layer 2. Okay, it takes in packets sent by devices that are connected to its physical ports and forwards them to the devices the packets are intended to reach. Switch is an intelligent device. Okay, switch store the device physical MAC address in the MAC table. Switch can divide the broadcast domain. It's called VLAN. This is the basics of switch, and switch working in layer 2 as well as layer 3 switch is there. So in coming up sessions we'll see. This diagram shows the Ethernet frame format. Okay, preamble is 7 bytes, SFT is 1 byte, destination address, source address, length, data nothing else, but it's a payload, CRC 4 bytes. Preamble means it's having 7 bytes data. This is a pattern of alternate zeros and ones which indicates starting of the frame and allow sender and receiver to establish bit synchronization. Initially, preamble was introduced to allow for the loss of a few bits due to signal delays. Okay. Second one is start of frame delimiter. This is a single byte field that is always set to 10101011. Okay, SFT indicates that upcoming bits are starting the frame, which is the destination address. Sometimes SFT is considered part of PRE. This is the reason preamble is described as 8 bytes in many places. The SFT warns station or stations that this is the last chance for synchronization. Destination address. It contains 6 bytes. Destination address is nothing but where the data to be reached. The MAC address will be stored in the destination address. Okay. Source address nothing but it's where the data is originated. The device MAC address will be stored in source address. It also contains 6 bytes data. Okay. Length only having 2 bytes, but its length means it's stored the entire Ethernet frame format length. This 16-bit field can hold a length value between 0 to 65534, but length cannot be larger than 1500 bytes because of some own limitation of Ethernet. Okay. Data. Data is the important thing. It's like we also known as the payload. Both IP header and data will be inserted here if internet protocol is used over Ethernet. The maximum data present may be as long as 1500 bytes. It's like nothing but maximum transmission unit of Ethernet cable. In coming up sessions we will know how it's working. Okay. In case data length is less than minimum length is 46 bytes, then padding 0 is added to meet the minimum possible length. Okay. Cyclic CRC is 4-byte field. This field contains 32 bits hash code of data. Hash code means like it's we can't change the hash code. In firewalls and security topics we will learn more about hashing methods, how many hash types is available, that hash code. So once we created the hash code, we will validate the hash code with the when we receive the file we will create another hash code and we can compare the both hash code is same or not. If some data has been modified in our receiving bytes, that hash code will be changed, so we can easily identify that data has been modified or not. Okay, so which is generated over destination address, source address, length and data field. If the checksum computed by the destination is not the same as send checksum value, data is received is corrupted. Okay. Collision detection. In switch we have a collision detection. In hop-duplex Ethernet networks, collision can occur when two devices attempt to transmit at the same time. Hop-duplex means it will only send data or only receiving the data. Okay, so that time if same both devices send data means some data loss or some delay has been occurred. To detect collision, Ethernet uses a carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. CSMA or CDMA CD protocol, which listens for activity on the network before transmitting data and backs off its collision is detected. If you are using full duplex, that collision will not occur. So in half duplex only it will occur. What are the network switch components? It's taking a network switch apart as small as possible in mechanical level. There can be hundreds and thousands of components. So let me know some few basics important component of switches. Chassis, the metal part that contains other components, have a personal color and assembly options. Power supplies, normally nowadays the switch have two power supply for the redundant purpose. Fans, fan control, PCPA, printed circuit board assembly where fans are connected. CPU, PCPA, here that processor of like power PC or RAM, ARM based processor that has its RAM, flash and PCIe that runs the switch OS, switch main board. So this is the common important things we must know. Okay, this is the switch inside diagram. Here you can see that two power supplies and four fan controls. here CPU board, switchboard, here 48 port SFP, and then here one console port and one management port is available. So configure a Cisco switch with these 10 steps. Okay, if you are working in an organizations, if you purchase a new switch, we need to follow these 10 steps to configure the switch in first time. Okay, first one, we need to connect a switch to serial cable using the putty. Then enter a privilege mode to set host name. If organization, they will have some environmental like method to configure the switch host name, serial number, like that they have one order value, so we need to configure that host name as per the environment requirement. Assign a password to switch, then configure telnet and console access if required. Configure IP addresses with telnet access, like if that organization managing that management network is different one, so we can create a access list for the management IP address to access the telnet. Remaining other IP address has been denied because of that access rule, so we need to create that. That is very important thing. Configure a network management IP address, because we need to manage the switch through the management devices. Assign a default gateway to switch. Disable unused ports, because if that unused port is the more vulnerable and a security breach has been occurred, or sometimes that end user not aware, so they will unplug the servers or something, some other devices or some other activities happen, so that time our network has been crashed or some network delay, network drops has been occurred. So preventing that unwanted activities, we can disable the ports. It could help to secure our network. Configure the NTP is must. We need to configure the NTP server to that switch, so that every switch has been syncing with the timestamps. Okay. And final thing, all configuration done, we need to save the switch configuration. If you forget to save the configuration, once that switch has been rebooted, or sometimes that power off and power on, that time that all configuration will be gone, so we need to freshly configure the switch. So must you need to save the configurations once you done all the basic configurations. Okay. Here I will show you how to connect the switch through serial cable. Putty configurations. You can see the serial COM cable. We need to check in your PC or laptop. This is the steps. Connect the switch to putty. You can I'll show you the step by steps. And then this is the topology in entire CCNA. We will going to take the basics of like internet, and then two branches having two routers, and then firewall using HA, and then multi-access switch, multi-layer switch, and then this is the distribution layer switch, and this one access layer switch. End devices like laptop and PC are connected. So this is the basic topology. We are going to take the CCNA. Now we'll going to take practicals of switch configurations. Okay.